Today I want to talk about something called rose thorn bud. And now I didn't invent this. There are different versions that different people use. So if you like a different version better, by all means go for it. But I happen to like rose thorn bud. So I first encountered rose thorn bud as like a parenting tool, and I used it at dinner with my kids, and we would rose thorn bud our day. And your rose would be the best part of your day. Your thorn would be a part of your day that was less good. I'm not going to use the B word. The two B words I don't like are bad and budget. So yeah, the thorn would be a part of your day that is less good, and your bud is something that either you're hopeful for or you're looking forward to. And we really enjoyed these conversations with our kids. I'm also a teacher, and I use it with my students. Rather than first day of school, tell me your name and a fun fact, we rose thorn bud our summer. Actually, specifically, I'm a music teacher, so often after concerts, we will talk about our conversation using rose thorn bud as a way to organize kind of our thoughts. And a rose would be a strength of our performance, or a part that we really enjoyed or we did a great job on. A thorn would be the opposite of that. And a bud it could be something we're looking forward to, but in that context, it could be kind of something that we can learn from our performance and put into practice to improve our future work together. So what does this have to do with money? Because I'm here to talk about money. Often, for so many people, money is like a hot water heater, in that you don't think about it unless there's a problem. So I like to use rose thorn bud with finances in order to kind of train our brains to think a little bit differently about money. So money is not this thing that we don't want to deal with, this thing that we don't want to talk about, we don't want to think about, because we only think about it when there's a problem. So a rose, obviously with your money, would be something that's going well. A thorn would be something that you're less happy with in your finances. And a bud could be something you're looking forward to, something you're hopeful for, or a goal that you're working toward. And as you know, there's an infinite number of financial goals that you can pursue for yourself, depending on what your life goals are, really. So the way I suggest that my clients use this, if they're people who kind of are a little bit, they're scared of the money conversation, is to schedule typically a weekly check-in with themselves, and they can use rose thorn bud as a way to structure that kind of check-in. Maybe once a week, I think is ideal, and you can use your rose to identify something that's going well in your finances. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be, I paid off this credit card this week, or I reached $5,000 in my savings account this week. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be, I worked at my job and I worked really hard this week, and I earned money that will allow me to take care of my needs for the next week. It can be, I bought a sweater that I know I worked hard for the money to buy, and I'm really happy with this purchase. I think it's really going to be something that brings me joy. It doesn't have to be the typical, I didn't spend money, I saved money, I did this. It can be something that just means you're using your money with intention. A thorn is a part of your finances that you're not as thrilled with. And then the bud, that's something you're working toward, something you're hopeful for. So for most people, this whole idea can be a little bit scary. So if this whole thought is scary, start with just the rose. Just identify a weekly win, so you can start to think about money in a more positive way, and the power that it has to improve your life. For many people, the best way this tool can be put into practice is if you are in some kind of relationship where your money is conjoined with someone else. For many people, this might be a married couple, and if you find that your conversations with your significant other are generally negative in nature, start with a win. Share a money win with each other once a week, so you can start to recalibrate the temperature of your money conversations that you have with each other. It's almost never a bad idea to have this conversation over food or drink. Something about eating and drinking while you're having this conversation just makes things flow a little bit more easily. And then if you're ready to step into the full rose thorn bud, it allows you to acknowledge those things that you're not thrilled with in your financial picture, but also ends the conversation with, where are we going? Where do we want to be? And one of the most powerful products of this can be that you and your significant other, or you just for yourself if you're doing this on your own, can really get a better sense and be able to articulate what your financial goals are, and then you're better able to figure out what the right next steps are to move you in that direction. If you put this into practice, I'd love to hear about it, so feel free to reach out. Have a good day.